Hey guys, it's Cho,
And Lisa.
and we're back with another episode of the Love Collective podcast. So, today, guys, we are really excited because my dear friend Lisa found us the most dramatic article to talk about today, and it relates to something concerning fidelity. But it's not really the typical fidelity that you think about, where you're cheating on someone physically, but it's financial infidelity.
Yes, financial infidelity, which is a term, even as a therapist, that I have not heard before. So I was super excited to find it and learn more about it.
Definitely. So, do you want to kind of talk about the article that we found and, what kind of sparked this interest?
Sure. The article is from NPR and it's called the Your Money segment of NPR. The article is called Keeping Money Secrets from Each Other: Financial Infidelity on the Rise. And it was written by Yuki Noguchi on April 29th of this year. And the article follows pretty much one couple in particular, Anne and Ed, and they've been together for 15 years. They've got a house, they've got their jobs. It all looks great from the outside. There's even this really cute picture of them, and they're a great looking couple.
Oh, they are really adorable, by the way. Really adorable.
Her red dress and her shoes.
The
Anyways,
shoes were on point. The shoes were definitely on point.
yeah.
And even her post, like guys, really, you need to go look at this article and look at Anne because Anne is hot. Like, and Ed, happy. Like her pose, it's everything.
Her crossed leg is so subtle.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Anyways, so they've been married for a while. They're pretty in love, the whole package. But Anne found out recently that husband has had, what did he do? He made some debt to open a business.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it started out kind of small. He's ironically actually a therapist. It started out kind of small as a loan to get his business started. And then it just kind of snowballed out of control. Does it say how much debt they actually?
Yeah, it does. It started off with just several $1,000s. I don't think they specified the exact amount. I think it was more like 2,000, 3,000. So it wasn't a lot to start, but then it actually snowballed, I think, into like $20,000 of debt. And I think the reason why is because it was hidden from her. So he did this without her consent and kind of kept it secret. And I think because of the guilt that he had and, just wanting to rectify the issue by himself, since he's the one that started the issue by himself, he kept it a secret. And it kind of snowballed into more and more debt, unfortunately.
Right. And it really kind of goes into the mental health aspects of it too. He said that keeping this secret and the building up of the debt really pushed him into isolation and depression. I mean, he was not feeling good about this. And of course, Anne felt extremely betrayed when she found out.
Oh, yeah.
It really kind of challenges the way that we think about infidelity. He didn't have a relationship with another person. He wasn't making plans to leave her, but he was not being forthcoming about the way that they were building their life together. And it is an
Right.
aspect of a relationship that needs to be talked about.
Definitely. I mean, I have sympathy for both of them because
Me
in
too.
the story, it's not like he had an addiction to gambling or that he was like spending money frivolously. His intentions were really good for his family. He was trying to start a business, and that business, I would assume, would help both of them. It wasn't just for his benefit. So I feel bad for the husband because I think that his intentions were really well. It's just his process was pretty flawed. And I think that we see in the article that Anne is very bitter and angry. And I think she says a quote. What did she say? She said, "Everything in me wanted to just yell and punch a pillow. What else don't I know? What else is he hiding?" So that kind of got her to being paranoid about other things that he could be hiding. And when you have a breakdown of trust like that, That's never good for your relationship.
Part of the extreme feeling of betrayal comes from Anne's perception of him when they first started dating and meeting.
Oh yeah.
Her nickname for him was Mr. Financially Responsible.
Yep.
A bit ironic, but he really had his ducks in a row when it came to his finances. Which furthermore adds to the fact that this was not an intentional way to harm her, and this was
Right. Hmm.
not. She couldn't even see this coming because she thought that he was so put together in terms of his finances. So it was
Right.
a
Right.
huge shock. And also for Ed, I think he ended up feeling as though he betrayed that image that she had of him. It's a great article, and I highly recommend reading it.
Yeah, and we'll be sure to post this article
Yeah.
onto our social media pages, on our Instagram page and Facebook page. That way, you guys can actually have access to it and can read along yourselves. It's a really great story, and I think it serves as a cautionary story about what not to do to get into a situation like this. So let's talk about the actual definition of financial infidelity because it's a weird term that I think maybe we're seeing more often. Let's see what it says. So, the stats on the financial infidelity, it says that the few academic studies have estimated that as many as 41% of American adults admit to hiding accounts, debts, or spending habits from their spouse or partner. So, to me, I guess that just seems like financial infidelity is just basically when you hide stuff, when you aren't forthcoming or truthful about your spending habits or debts or random accounts. And I think that
Absolutely.
makes sense to me, right?
I think it could also be lying or not being totally honest about how much you're actually making, too. You know,
Oh yeah. Oh
you,
yeah.
you could say, "Oh, I make six figures a year," when maybe you make 50,000 a year, and maybe in the beginning of a relationship, that's just to impress someone. I don't
Right.
know why someone would do that. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah,
But
please don't do
people do
that. Yeah.
that. People do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that could also possibly be in the category is just not even being honest about how much you do make.
Right. Right. Yeah, I didn't think about that actually, but yeah, that's financial, dishonesty right there. And
Mhm.
people do that and engage in that type of behavior for several reasons. I think it all stems from insecurity, but
Mhm.
it's just not good for the foundation of your relationship.
Right. It's hard to say what is financial infidelity and what's not because the term infidelity sounds severe. It sounds like you had said earlier, really dramatic. I would be interested to see what the stats are on how anyone really keeps things from their partner about money. Do you need to tell your partner every little thing? Do you need to tell your partner that maybe you're saving up some money for something special for yourself? I don't know really what would constitute financial infidelity and not. It seems like
Kind of obscure.
yeah, obscure, and I guess maybe we're all kind of figuring out what it does mean. But with
Well, see, I think what determines what is financial infidelity is 100% determined by the guidelines of your relationship. And I think we'll talk about it a little bit later when we get into like joint accounts. But if you have separate financial responsibilities and if you don't have money tied together as a couple, then there really can't be any financial infidelity. So I think it really depends on what your arrangement is.
totally, yeah, and yeah, there's lots of factors here. Maybe okay, if you have a family, if you've got kids, you're married, the whole deal,
Hmm.
I can see why wanting to